Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Coffee with Craig. I am Craig DeLuz, your host. This is my coffee. Well, this is some of my coffee. Over there is the rest of my coffee. But we're here to talk to you about the Second Amendment rights, politics, culture, movies, you name it, anything Second Amendment related. We're talking about it here on Coffee with Craig. So please do us a favor. Take a moment to like and share both the Facebook feed, the Facebook page, as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel. We really want to have your friends to become part of the conversation as we talk about Second Amendment and Second Amendment advocacy here in these United States. Talking about Second Amendment advocacy, there's been a lot of conversation lately surrounding the idea of keeping our children safe when they're at school. After the Parkland shooting, a number of folks, while we have those who were completely and utterly abusing what happened and to talk and using it as a way in which to push gun control, you have had some advocates who've been pushing for the idea of making sure that we take certain steps and measures at school to be able to help keep our children safe. We realize that, we put a lot of energy, effort, and resources into protecting law enforcement, in protecting our politicians, into protecting our courts, but we do very little in terms of helping to protect and make schools truly a safe place for our students. Well, there's one school district that has taken, an extraordinary step to defend their students. I think you'll find it, innovative and interesting.
Welcome back. One school district's response to recent school shootings is this. They're arming teachers with mini baseball bats. It's the Mill Creek School District in Pennsylvania. They say the bats are primarily symbolic, but they are an option for teachers to use if they need to fight off an attacker.
We passed them out with the goal being that we wanted every room to have one of these. Again, for consistency and for the symbolic piece that, unfortunately we're in a day and age where we may need to use them to protect ourselves and our kids.
This is the solution for one school in Pennsylvania. Last month, another district in Pennsylvania said it was going to give teachers and students buckets of rocks.
Okay. All right. So I'm all for arming teachers who wish to be armed. This isn't exactly what I was thinking of. I gotta believe that this is being done as some sort of a joke. It's quite frankly, it's a sick joke at that. Come on now. So, in other words, your answer in terms of arming teachers is to give them little mini baseball bats. And the worst part is that they were talking about this like he was completely serious. Oh yeah, they're going to be able to use these to be able to defend themselves. And it's really making a joke of being able to protect our students, of the real discussion that needs to take place surrounding things like metal detectors at schools, armed security at schools. Once again, we have armed security at corporate buildings throughout America. We have armed security at our courthouses, at our airports, at our state capitals. Why is the idea of having armed security and metal detectors at our schools, if these are our most precious resources, these are our children, if this is such why is it so outrageous to think that is something that we ought to be doing? And then on top of it, why not allow teachers who would choose, because let's keep this in mind. Whenever we talk about arming teachers, we're not talking about telling teachers, look, you have to carry a gun or have a gun if you don't want one. All we're saying is if there are teachers or staff on campus who have a concealed carry permit or want to get a concealed carry permit and can legally do so, have demonstrated the ability to utilize their firearms safely and efficiently. Why not allow them to do that? If they express a desire to be able to defend themselves and defend their students. You had one school district here in the Sacramento region, it's Folsom Cordova School District, that actually incorporated their teachers and staff who were CCW holders into their active shooter scenarios, their active shooter training. They trained side by side with law enforcement so that if there was something that occurred on their school campus, they would be prepared and know exactly what to do and exactly how to respond. And guess what? They were receiving the same sort of training that law enforcement was receiving. I know some of you out there believe that law enforcement receives a great deal of firearms training, but the reality is that in many cases, once they leave the academy, that pretty much about does it for the firearms training that they receive. Oftentimes, when they do their retest or their requalification, that's what qualifies as their testing, or as their training. And any firearms instructor will tell you, testing is not the same as training. They should be getting training on a regular basis, but they generally, many of them, do not get it. Simply being law enforcement does not necessarily mean that you are trained to deal with an active shooter situation. So why not have people who, by the way, are already there on campus, active and prepared, trained to deal with these scenarios? Instead, we decide to give them bats, or at least this school district decided to give them bats. And not even like a real grown-up size bat. They gave them a little mini baseball bat. Now, perhaps if they gave them a real bat, well, then they might be able to make some noise.
What the hell is the bat for? They used to call me Crazy Joe, but now they can call me Batman.
That's right. So that they can call them Batman. Anyway, folks, that's going to be it for today's Coffee with Craig. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for liking and sharing these videos, and thank you for being a part of the fight for our civil rights. Remember, you got to use them or we're going to lose them. You guys take care.
If you like our videos, follow, subscribe, like, and share.